Go.
Okay, we'll bring the meeting to order. I'm Don Berube, 135 River Road.
Kit McDaniel, Select Board Rep.
Carrie Mackinnon, Community Development Director.
Kristen Hayden, regular planning board member, 2 Colonial Terrace.
Casey DeStefano, alternate, 4 Hopkiln Road.
Levi Berry, alternate, 19 Laurel Drive.
Ben Davis, 9 Wheeler Road.
Michael Lawton, 3 Asa Drive.
Sandy Crystal, 1 Shoreview Drive.
I'd like to introduce our new land use assistant. Well, I'll let you introduce yourself actually.
I am Dawn Faringo, happy to be here with you tonight.
Welcome.
Great.
Thank you.
We have a new alternate, Levi here.
Thanks for joining.
So we got 6, 7.
We need 2 alternates, right? Because we've got
Yeah,
1,
need
2,
2,
3,
yeah, so
4,
we'll
5
do-
regulars.
Kristen and Ben will be voting.
So
Kristen's not.
Kristen's
Oh,
regular.
Kristen's regular, so, Ben and Casey. All right. Public hearings, application number 211-25, Daniel Turbo. Change of use site plan, application to add the use list and application to add the use listed in 5.1G.1 motor vehicle sales and rentals located at 28 Ryan Road.
That's
you?
I'm David Stewart. So the landlord is Dan Terran.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on up to
Come
the,
on up, David.
Should I sit or?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And,
Can you just tell us what the project?
yeah, just tell us what you wanna do here in a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So I have the repair shop, the repair facility there now, and I'm just hoping to be able to basically add vehicle sales and whatnot. I'm primarily focusing on repair and stuff like that. I'm not trying to become like a big dealership. It's just I'd like to be able to get my dealer license and try to supplement that with maybe selling a few vehicles or what have you a month that maybe we can go to the auction, or I have customers asking do you know of any trucks for sale or anything like that. So it seems like it would be or make sense, be the next step for the business or what have you. Yeah, so that's basically what I'm trying to do.
How many cars do you think you'd be selling at any one point?
I'm not 100% positive, but what my goal is that, to sell maybe, 5, maybe 10 at most per month if it's successful, right? So I don't anticipate that, or I'm not trying to stockpile vehicles because I'm not trying to confuse and clutter or what have you where I am, because I need to be able to have space to repair vehicles. So if I, sell several vehicles a month or what have you, then that's, I guess what the option that I want to be able to have.
And that was leading to my next question, where do you plan to store the vehicles that are for sale?
So I have space basically in the front and in the back. So there's a dirt lot in the back that I have a pretty decent size of available storage and parking and that kind of stuff. So if I say I want to be able to sell 10 cars a month, I don't necessarily want to have 10 vehicles there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I just, yeah.
I mean, it's not a high visibility spot
good
anyways,
trucks to hire.
because the same people drive by every day. that
Exactly, yeah.
Working in the neighborhood.
Right, yeah, I don't need, to have 10 vehicles just sitting there for sale.
Yeah.
It's more I don't want to say, oh, well, I only want to sell 1 per month, but then I sell that and then can't get another one to sell, you know what I mean? Yeah.
so I just put up on the screen kind of what it looks like. So he had proposed putting some of the vehicles for sale in, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but in this grass area between the parking lot and the road.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't, I guess, know if that was allowed or not, but basically right up there where that grass is, that's kind of right along the road. So if I had, a vehicle or what have you for sale, if I could kind of like angle it there and, say that it was for sale or what have you, that would be really the only area that I guess you would be able to see that there is a vehicle for sale from the road. I mean, aside from then, posting it online or what have you, but.
And you're saying on the parking lot side of that grass, obviously you're not gonna put it right on the road
Yeah,
there.
exactly,
You're- okay,
right,
Where
Right up
Carrie's saying,
against the
okay.
Yeah.
parking lot, yeah.
right.
And you can see on the site plan, there is enough space on their property, not within the right of way,
Yeah.
to place some vehicles there. And then the,
But there's like an old tractor or something.
There is, yeah, there's like there's like a John Deere and there's like on like either side of it or what have you, so I was thinking like in the middle or what have you.
yeah, there's like a decorative tractor.
Decorative tractor, yes, that's how I described it. Exactly.
I'll make a motion to accept the application as complete.
A second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So is the marked area out front a certain size for a certain number of vehicles or?
I'm sorry. what do you mean?
On the
Oh,
plan?
like, so the
it was
grass
like drawn.
spot that you're at, like, or the one to,
We drew a box on the plan for us.
oh,
so it's-
yeah, I mean, basically, there's enough space that I could park maybe like several vehicles there, right? I mean, I'm not trying to, like, that's not what my goal is, but I guess I'm not, I don't have the exact measurements, like, I didn't go out with a
Okay.
tape measure and, but I guess like by eyeballing or what have you, you know what I mean? You can see that you'd be able to fit them or what, yeah.
And then the lot, there's obviously other uses on the lot, he is a tenant, but
Right.
there, it does go back pretty far and there is a
Exactly.
large area with various vehicles stored there.
Yeah, so, I mean, it doesn't exactly look like as much trash up against the building right now, but yeah, exactly. So there's a large lot in the back there that, even like towards the back where, like there's the open section and then like the section in the back, like I have space, yeah, exactly. I have space back there kind of up against even where the trees are in the back and that kind of stuff too. So, I mean, there's a bunch of space there, right? So like, even as far as like, me parking or what have you, right? I'm not necessarily, like, I don't need to take up a space in the front because I can park like in the back, you know?
Yeah, so it doesn't seem like his vehicles for sale are going to take up parking spaces that would be used for customers otherwise.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm sure you've talked to your landlord, the
I have.
building owner. Has the town actually talked to the building?
He signed the application.
Okay.
So,
I know we had one a little while ago from the truck stop that didn't realize what they were actually doing, so.
But yeah, I did go and I talked to, or have a conversation with them and let them know that I was trying to do that or what have you.
One question I have is, I know that the parking lot isn't paved, but like how much of this lot is basically impervious? And I would consider the dirt parking lot as impervious. Because when you have trucks over it. So I just was wondering, cause you start putting the vehicles on the grass, you're now impacting that by compacting the soil and stuff, so.
yeah, there's not much for green space on this lot.
So, yeah, the back lot is basically hard pack there, so dirt, and then, the front lot is paved, but yeah, so I was just basically seeing if I'd be able to put the for sale vehicle just past the paved in the grass there. Cause like essentially when you're coming down the road, that's really the only way you would, I guess, see that,
Mm-hmm.
And you're
Yeah,
planning on
no,
keeping
I-
it grass, right?
Yeah,
I understand, but I guess I just wanna, we have what, an 80% coverage? It's supposed to be the max impervious, so that's why I was kinda concerned about putting vehicles on the grass, cause that makes that kind of compacts the soil and makes it more impervious, even if it sort of looks like grass. So I understand what you're looking for, but I guess,
I'm just, Sandy, I appreciate what you're saying, but I'm not going to deny a business owner in with my vote, the right to do this over 100 square yards of grass. So just, so we're clear, that's my view, it's just like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but we're
well,
talking about maybe 5 or 8 cars on some grass, which
yeah,
happens.
frankly, I don't think 5 or 8 cars is what's appropriate. You know, if you go down and you see even a lot of the, you know, Manchester Street, you know, they may have a couple on the grass. In fact, in Concord, they've had them make like gravel pads for them to kind of distinguish the area.
Yeah, I mean, you're not looking at setting up a used car dealer, you're a garage that wants to sell some vehicles and
Yeah,
trying to get permission to
right.
do it instead of just.
Yeah, so I mean, I agree, I think like even 5 cars there, I think would be too much on the grass.
Right, I mean, I'd say,
I don't
you
think
know,
it would
2
fit.
cars,
And I mean,
you know-
ultimately, I'd probably park 1 car there. I don't even know that I would park 2 cars there, you
Would these
know?
be like diesel trucks or not like small cars or?
I mean, I would like to get pickup trucks and.
Yeah, cause I was thinking
I
if,
think
cause
that
they do
would-
mostly diesel work, right?
Yeah,
So
and
these are
like
not
fleet
probably
stuff too, so I mean, we
larger
do
vehicles.
actually a surprising amount of gas, like work vans and stuff like that, but like Mercedes Sprinter vans, for example, you know, like I would like to be able to maybe get a used one of those because I mean, if you're a plumber, an electrician, or you want to build a camper, you know what I mean, there's kind of like a large
Those are good market.
market, even like, you know, for something like that.
I think my point was just like the size of the vehicles, they're probably gonna take up a little more space than your average sedan.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then I would like to.
realistically, you're gonna fit a couple vehicles up there, like Sprinter vans or.
And I mean, ultimately, I would like to do maybe some cars as well and figure out, I guess. I don't know, I mean, I guess whatever would make, to me, like vans or pickup trucks, I think would make sense, but I guess wouldn't be opposed to even like a sedan or something like that. And you know, that may even come in handy to be able to find one like that as an auction, even to use as like a loaner vehicle or something like that, you know, like a sedan or what have you, or.
I mean, do we wanna, specify more the size of the area based on potential use so that we don't have to say 1 car or a truck or this or that, and just say you can have X size area and whatever fits
Fit
on
whatever you
it.
fit.
You know, if it's big, it might just be 1, if it's smaller, it could be 2 cars, so.
I like the idea of defining the outdoor display lot because there's other areas in our ordinance where that comes in, like for banners and flags and types, signs like that. The number you get is based on the size of your outdoor display
Can you
lot.
zoom in that a little bit more?
Sure.
This, I wanna see like the parking spots that it is, so there's 1 vehicle there.
Yeah, so I mean, it feels like you could fit like,
I mean, you're probably gonna get maybe 20 feet deep into it. And really, if you're define a square footage, you know, 20 by 40 area, 20 by.
And those lines, don't forget, those are not exact.
right, but
I'd
I'd
say
say,
you could say equivalent to 2 parking spaces.
But I would do dimensions. I'd probably do dimensions.
so if we,
We don't have.
That's 20 by 40, so.
but we can define
I
what's
mean,
allowed.
we definitely don't wanna make him come back for another night and get measured.
No, we can,
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
So that's 40 feet, just as an example, let's
Yep.
see what we're talking about, and then 20 is probably about out there, so.
When you do park them there, just make sure that you're not impeding upon the sight distance from your own driveway. So that vehicles, like when a car comes to pull out, that they can see far enough up the
Oh,
road to
I
be able
see,
to
I see
pull
what
out.
you're saying, yeah.
Because the more you put along the right of way, the harder,
are
like
those
the edge of the
shrubs that
road,
are
the
there?
harder it, you know.
There's trees
Those are trees.
there. So, I mean, basically, I kind of keep it back and even realistically to the left, so when you're coming out of there, you.
Yeah, it would be better, just when you go to park it, just pay attention, you know?
Yeah. no,
And
that
certainly
definitely
make
makes
sure that you're
sense.
not in the town's right of way, that you're on the
Right.
property, that would be important.
Yeah, exactly.
So do we wanna do 20 by 40? And just,
That work for you if we?
That's
Yeah,
let's
and I
put
think that's
20 by 40.
plenty. I think that's,
Any other questions on the board before I open to the public? So this is a public hearing, so if anybody in the public has any comments, this is the time. See some thumbs up. Seeing no comments, I'll close the public
The
hearing.
record will note there was a thumbs up.
Yeah, here we go, we made it to the recording anyway.
Double thumbs. I'll make a motion, this does not have a regional impact.
go ahead.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And no waivers. So the condition that I'm hearing would be maybe only 20 by 40 feet and not impeding the sightlines of the driveway. Are there any other conditions people would like to attach to this?
Do you want to limit the total number of cars for sale at any given time, or do you just wanna limit the number of the
That-
space? in the
Basically what's
front?
gonna be displayed, which I think, 20 by 40, 4 cars is
It's
gonna be
kind of
tight.
1/6 of one.
Well, I mean, he has room in the back, so I mean, he could, if he gets permission from the landlord, he could put 20 cars in the back, but.
yeah, but I realistically need that space for repair and whatnot
Yeah.
anyways, so yeah.
Yeah.
Right, you wanna
You already
sell
have a
some-
bunch of trucks back there, like there was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bunch
It's
of
already
Class 8
that
and-
same use, back there, so I don't know if it really matters to me, but
Um,
if you're that
I'll-
successful.
Do we, is there,
Probably be trying to get more space at that point
Yeah,
realistically,
exactly.
which, I don't know.
do we wanna just put a condition, and it's really not necessarily for this, but related to the, maximum, that the fact that this is kind of pushing on the maximum coverage, impervious coverage, and that, further, I don't know, applications, I don't know.
There's not much more they can impact at this point, but
If they come, and
Little
they'll
bit.
have to come back if they wanna do more.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the check on.
More than the 20
Right.
by 40 area, right, they'd have to come
Right,
back,
right.
so.
Okay.
I'll make a
Alright.
motion to approve application 211-25 with the following conditions. Record a signed notice of decision at the Merrimack County Register of Deeds. All original conditions of approval remain in effect. The total maximum area that will be used will be 20 by 40 feet on the road, on the frontage grass. And that when it is used, it does not impede the sightlines of the driveway. That's my motion.
Do we need to mention anything about town right away, or that's how it goes without?
And to stay out of the town right away,
I mean,
as required in all instances,
yeah.
so,
I'll second that.
alright.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There you go.
I'll make a motion that very much. Thank you. I'll make a motion, the finding of facts are that it is appropriate use for the area of zoning in that town, and that it helps to balance out the need of the business owner perhaps, and also, as Sandy has raised, the sort of the coverage area as well, so we're balancing out the impervious area and the car storage.
All
Is
right.
that actually a
Good luck with
motion?
it.
We need a motion?
Thank you.
That was a motion, so we do need them second.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Thank you, good luck.
All right. Moving on, application 212-25, Alley Realty LLC. Change the use site plan application to add the use listed in 5.11C.3, indoor commercial recreational facility located at 27 Dunkley Road. Come on up, tell us who you are and what you wanna do.
I'm Ron McLaren,
Andrew McLaren.
and we are representing the owner. And essentially what we were looking to do is we have a tenant that would like to move in that is a creative dance workshop. We got the site plan approved. That was not one of the listed permitted uses, although it's zoned for it. So we understand the parking requirements are a little bit different. Wanted to come back and see if we can get them in there. They would be our first tenant. They would be occupying 2 bays as it shows on the site plan, half the building, if you will.
How many buildings you got up there now?
Just one right
Just
now.
the
We
one?
have a application in for the second building permit.
I'll make a motion to accept the application as complete.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
In terms of parking, we're looking at building A, right, that's built?
Yes,
And it's unit 3 and 4 they wanna move into?
correct.
So, right now, at their existing facility, parking's a nightmare because they drive around. So where do they enter the building? Obviously, there's parking on the front of the building where the natural entrance is, but can they access the building from what on this map looks like the south side? I don't actually know what it's.
There are 2 man doors, if you will, on the front of the building and 2 man doors on the back of the building for those units. So there's equal amount of.
They can get in both sides?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Can I ask,
I assume that the dance studio would not allow that.
that's, yeah, can we ask further, would it be set up so that people could actually use the back doors to enter?
That was a discussion we had with them and they, yes.
Cause right now, they're in a facility with a back door where it's like.
Back doors can open, you're just not allowed to go, like the garage
Yeah,
doors.
but it's like a garage door right there.
That's true.
Yeah, so, okay.
But yeah, you have a regular.
And
door.
are
We do have a garage door as well, but there is a
A stu-
regular
Man door and a
access door.
Are you asking for us to apply this to all proposed units or just unit A?
So we would like to not go back every time a tenant.
Us too,
A different tenant
but we
comes
have to be here, unfortunately.
So, I mean, we do anticipate, again, these are gonna be our first tenants. We do anticipate tradesmen in different variety of uses, but we would like to be able to market to that sport facility or dance studio of types, not.
That, the sports, like when we used to have a soccer place that's gone. I mean, everybody would love to have one of those again. But the parking is huge. I mean, there's just so much traffic. And cars come in.
I would be willing to personally grant this for this one building, but if it's going to be, I wouldn't wanna grant it for every building because we don't know what's going in there and then parking does become an issue. Look, I wanna see you build this out and be hugely successful. I just wouldn't wanna hand a sort of blank check on the parking that isn't appropriate for the space.
Yeah, where I understand, like, if we had the next 3 buildings were all sports, like, that's.
Yeah, that's where it becomes a
I
problem,
mean,
right?
that's,
And so I'm telegraphing where I stand. I think it's fine for this. I wouldn't want to go for all 4 at the same time.
So, I mean, back to actually the, front door, back door. Because you have really no walkway between where the buildings will be, to go from the back side to front side, outside, right now. Right.
one of the things we talked about was a drop-off, pickup, front back kind of a thing. I don't know if they'll.
Oh, like they go in the front and then go out the back?
Exactly. I don't know if that will be implemented or not, but that was a topic of discussion. to kind
But
of-
right now, you can't drive all the way
Right now,
around.
it's a mess.
Like,
Right now, you no, you won't
Yeah.
be able to. No.
yeah, right now, so you do have, both driveways are there to access?
Yes, right.
I mean, do you have a CO for the building? Are you using it at all, or
No, not right now.
you wanna be,
We do
you wanna
have,
be
we
using
are
it?
finishing the inside, yeah, so we do have a inspection scheduled.
So right now, with this in there, they won't be able to drive around? I mean, is
That's
that?
correct. They would either come in the back one
side
or
or the
one
other
side.
side.
Can they just drive right there?
What's that?
Can they just drive?
Yeah, they're gonna come in this driveway, or they're gonna come around, I mean,
So
I guess I'm not really sure which is the front or the back.
I assume
the
that
dance
is the
studio is gonna be operating while other facilities are under construction?
Separate building, yes.
Separate
So phase two would be the second building.
We have a dividing wall through the center of the building, so. Their side is done.
Their side, yeah, would be isolated. Or,
I'm just picturing like the parking lot, so how much of the parking lot is currently constructed? None of it?
All,
The
for that
entire,
building,
that
it's all
entire.
all of
paved.
phase
It's all
one.
It
paved.
goes right to like the edge of the building, right? To like
Yep.
here.
Or just the first.
everything in
that's
front
paved.
of, or
Just
front or
that
back
building,
of
right? So
building.
you'd like, so you're gonna basically do the parking as you do each unit, you're gonna add those, but, okay.
So, I'm still, I mean, when people are pulling in the front, basically to turn around, you gotta pull into a parking spot and back out of it to go the other way.
I know what happens at the current facility, what's gonna happen is they're gonna pull in here, they're gonna drive around there.
Yeah, this isn't here, though.
Well, whatever it is, they're gonna end up pulling front.
That was my question, there is no driving around.
Okay.
You can't drive around right now.
Yeah,
So
right.
then this is all gonna be
Wherever
under
you come in.
construction.
Right now, he's looking at this, and there is no driving from here to there,
Yeah, okay.
which I think is just gonna make it really tough for them, I mean,
Especially when everyone's all showing up at once,
Yes.
pick up and drop off, it's tough now.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the nice thing,
Well, how
probably
many
most of this
spots
stuff
do they
is
have today?
more after hours, but.
23? You have 23 spots today and they're gonna have 24 in the future.
No, there's
There's a
23
grass area.
designated here, but I don't, does it say how many?
Do you know how many they have at their facility that they're at today? Does anybody know?
That's.
I don't think there's that many.
I don't think there is.
I mean,
No, most people
they're
park
gonna
illegally.
start building this, so you can't.
There's only like 10 and then,
The construction
Then the
here.
road driveway.
They park in the back
then
and
there's park along the back and the front, so
stuff on the
there's
side.
probably not more than 24 at a time, I would think.
So-
With all of that.
So when we talk about parking, oftentimes in a situation like this, they have a lot of different uses and there can be some synergy kind of between different uses and if every unit was a cheer studio, it definitely wouldn't work, but with a right balance of really, some of your uses might be really low parking users. You're talking about some, they're basically storage
Storage.
or
The tradesman shop and stuff is very low usage, and the dance studio, I think, is mostly after hours.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
so there is it kind of works as a partnership there. I guess that's the one thing that they have going for them in that regard, but I think looking forward down to the rest of the buildings, that proper balance has to be maintained. You can't just say can't all be these types of facilities.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely just, yeah,
And then even as tenants come and go, I mean, you're building these buildings to be flexible and tenants probably aren't gonna stay forever. So just as each time a tenant comes and goes, we kind of have to look, is the next one gonna work for this, for the balance, to balance out the mix?
I mean, because of, even if it was, once it's all built out, I think it would be, just one use. I don't know if that can work that way, but you're right, just allowing the use for, not so much for one building, but for one unit out of on the property.
And that could
One
be,
business,
that could be reevaluated as the site gets
Yeah.
built out, we see how it's working. It could be reevaluated in the future, but.
But I think, the parking's definitely gonna be a nightmare there.
So how many parking spaces are technically required for?
So
the two-
24. And so also, And that's total for the building, and there's 2 other units.
That's for, yeah, that's for using half the building.
So when we look at our parking requirements, the indoor commercial recreation is about spectator seating, so it doesn't work. So I was looking at other, like, child daycare, you know, it's the same kind of drop-off, pickup, offices. Most of those types of uses are 1 space per 200 square feet, and so I basically applied that standard. Even, or actually a gymnasium is 1 per 200 square feet too. So it kind of fit.
That's how,
That,
okay.
yeah, that's how I kind of. Well, no, that's, but,
For the whole building.
but there's 2 other units.
But they're saying the other unit doesn't require a lot of parking
Well, it depends what, yeah,
right now.
right now.
We don't know what the tenant's gonna be in the other 2 units at all yet.
We don't know what we don't have anybody on,
The interest we've had is storage and.
Yeah.
For
that's all we
winter
can
and. yeah.
say at the moment, but. And I do believe there is room for additional parking if we were to get there. I don't know, like, just talk about it now when no one's using it is kind of strange, but if it were to be, you know, down the road, if we had another tenant that was required more parking than a tradesman, I do feel like there is ample room in the paved area that we have not designated parking that, you know, could be designated as parking if needed. Obviously, you guys want to make sure the parking works in a business, we want to make sure the tenants are happy and stay there.
Yeah.
So just.
I'm gonna actually open this to the public, just to get that part done, not expecting a lot.
Not even a thumbs up.
Not even a thumbs up.
Jesus,
I'll close the public hearing.
I make a motion, this does not have a regional impact.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed?
Question is really, so the waiver they're requesting is the parking requirements.
Yeah.
That is the whole question.
That is the whole question, otherwise it's,
Yeah.
makes sense. I will show you, they did show on this plan, where they proposed potentially putting overflow parking in this back area here, so obviously you still have to be able to access the property from this driveway.
Is that whole area open and connected to
It's
the
all
road?
pavement,
It's all
You
paved.
missed that one.
yeah.
I was talking pervious pavement.
And to be fair, once we pave the next
The
phase.
shaded rectangles is pervious.
I know what it is, yes.
Curious to see how that's gonna work.
You definitely don't want vehicles
Once
turning
we
on your
pave
pervious
the
pavement.
next, once we pave the next phase, that 30 feet in between buildings, we'll have 2 more additional spots.
3.
3.
Oh, up in the top here,
Pavement the whole
Yeah.
way down, so,
Yeah.
And the
all the way
back,
to the
pretty
road.
much,
oh, this area too,
yeah, so
got it.
I think,
So is
Not bad.
the backside of the building paved now?
yes.
So if we make a motion to waive the parking requirements, but only for unit A, does that work?
I don't know if unit A is the right term, but,
You know what I'm
but
saying?
yeah,
Building
to
A.
make it very specific to this,
Would
That is-
the board be amenable to that?
Could we put like a conditional use, like saying that depending on what assuming that the next tenant, if it is something other than what they're anticipating, then they have to come before the board again?
I think we
Well,
would it, or what we got approved originally was an office space and storage at 500 square feet, Carrie? And yeah, we are anticipating less than that. I think that was one of the more stringent things that we assumed would be, right in the gymnasium kind of thing, but.
yeah, the manufacturing is 1 per 500 square feet, warehousing is only 1 per 1,000 square feet. But yeah, I think you had, the calculations, they had put in a small, 15 by 30 office in the front of each one, and then the back of it was they kind of did a combination of the approved uses and made it kind of an average and said they had enough overall.
So just a thought on here, you know, where you are paved to the road that's going in there. I mean, with some paint, you could have parking spots that went to the road.
Yep.
And even some directional part, because you can have cars that, you know, quite a few that stay, quite a few that drop off. You know, where your yellow area, if you had, you know, with paint, an entry area, an exit area would make the traffic in there flow, and you could put enough parking spaces in between that they're going around, that they would meet the parking requirement.
Well, I guess that's the other, and I think that's,
I mean,
it is there if we need it,
Yeah.
and that's the thing, we just don't know who's moving into the second half of the building yet. And even if it is winter storage or whatever, we're essentially gonna see no cars.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, and ideally, you know, if it ends up being, you know, the dance studio doesn't work out and it's all tradesman's shop, and you got some lines painted, they're gonna go, you know, they're gonna use it as a big open area and ignore the lines. But with a dance studio going in there, and the drop off, and the evening drop off, you know, having some flow to the parking lot and knowing, I think it would be good for the dance studio, it would be a safer thing, and you wouldn't even need a waiver for the parking.
Well,
I mean,
well,
they need for the
technically,
use.
right.
Right.
But I mean, I think there's space. I mean, looking at that and the numbers, I mean, if you're paved out there, how many parking spaces we got along the
12 around the building.
building?
12, yeah.
I mean, you could have
Yeah, it's a.
6 parking spaces in the middle, which, you know, 3 spots is plenty of an entrance exit on either side of it. And then you're there. I mean, it's a, you know, just an idea to make it work. I mean, would you be amenable to that? I mean, is that?
I mean, if that was the linchpin, of course. I would rather, again, it is there if we need it.
Yeah.
I wish I could say that the building was full and we know that we needed another whatever, you know. So,
I mean, for this use, and I think that 24 spaces will get used in it, seeing what happens up the street. You know, if you got, you know, and you're shy 1, so adding, and literally you could, just a simple looking at what you have of spaces, you'd be adding 5 more than you would need, which would probably make another tenant, you know, looking at it, you know, when they go there 4:30 to look at the place because they just got done working, they say, I ain't gonna move in here because there's no place for me to get in and out. Because you have good, and those parking spots are going against garage doors, against the building, right? You said you got overhead doors on that side? So if you do get a tenant, you know, which I really hope you do, now you're, you know, there's 6 spots that you don't have.
Right.
You know, and I mean, I think it's gonna be tough, make it harder for you renting the other bays. If you have a dance studio in there and they have that parking lot eaten up.
It's a good point you make, that they won't have access to their garage doors, if that's the intended use, then you lose the 3 spots. That's a very good point.
So if you were to rent out, when you rent out units 1 and 2, would you reserve these spots that are immediately up against their garage doors? Would those be reserved for those tenants, or would you let the cheer people use them?
it depends on the use and I think what business and time and often and stuff. I mean, they need to have access to their units.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if there's, you know, I think the timing and stuff like that, and as long as the dance studio, I mean, they aren't there, from what they've written and stuff, they aren't there an extended period of time. It's a
Yes.
kind of, you know, it is a pickup and a drop off. They're not.
Leaving cars overnight.
Have you already painted the lines
Um,
out there?
not. We have in the front with the handicap and stuff like that. But
Okay. but not the rest of them.
I would, personally, I would prefer to see the spots put in now along that
Yeah.
section. I think Dawn's correct.
And then we don't need a waiver,
You don't need a
we
waiver.
just need to
Yeah, but
approve the use.
How do we do that if we want to proceed?
So you could
What's the condition?
make that, I'd make a condition that you approve the change of use with the addition of 6, is that the number?
6, I mean,
6 spots, can you just, where do you want, so I can put it effectively in
They've
motion?
marked it on the plan
Mark
as
at the
overflow
yellow
parking if
area.
needed.
yeah, basically, I think what they could do, you know, where you got 6 spots here, so,
Yeah.
I mean,
move
you
them
could,
down
you
there.
could go here, you know,
What's
basically
that road called?
centering.
like.
This
Straight
is,
Private drive, if you're looking at the
yeah,
access
it's a
road there.
private drive, yeah,
6 private drive, okay.
you know, against the,
So would you be fine with that, so we don't have to issue the parking waiver if you agree to add 6 parking spots along the private drive?
I mean,
If the board agrees.
The board, yeah, if the
Okay.
board, if that's the, we'd like to get them in there, so.
Would the idea with those extra spots be that you would, so you'd drive in this private drive and then you'd pull straight into it and then you would back out and go, so you would never actually drive into
I
the
think
lot?
you would do,
Or would you pull through?
I was picturing you'd pull into the lot, but people most likely will pull straight in the way you were just saying, because
I
you
mean,
have all
it's
that
just,
lovely
it's
frontage.
continuous,
Yeah.
it's just pavement.
Continue.
And that's
Because you
what
have
they built it that way so the trucks.
so,
could get in.
so that there was you'd have a solid line along the
So,
road,
yeah, I get
along the
it.
private drive,
Tried.
and the spots open
This back here.
towards the building. So basically, you'd be creating a loop, which, you know, and I don't know, you know, how the dance studio is gonna, you know, then they really have to use the back door, but that's where the parking is.
Yep.
I mean,
Okay, so we'd have no waivers, but the conditions would be for building A only, where we're granting this, and it would be on condition of adding 6 spots along the private drive on the south side of the building.
It's just lines, nothing, no curb.
yeah, just adding parking spaces, which
Playing lines.
it's already,
Any other,
Can I ask a
service.
question? How does that impact your number of handicap spots? Do you know? Might need to look at that.
with, oh,
Well, there's a ratio, you need one,
basically follow
for
the
every
rules.
25 spots, so we might have to do a count and make sure that
One
that's,
per 25 spots, is that what you said?
I believe so, that's off the
We
top
have-
of my head, but,
We have 2 for the building right now, so.
so that should be okay.
Yeah,
And
currently.
there'll be a
he's gonna go to
Currently,
30, he's gonna
have
go, he's
the
at
extra
23, he's
6
gonna
as
go
an
to
SUV
29
rider, yeah.
spots.
Any other conditions people would like?
I'd like to ensure that the rear access doors are going to be actually used by the Cheer Studio as, like, I know they're there,
How do I
yeah.
define usage though?
That it's going to be allowable entrance and exit as part of their operations.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Any other conditions? All right, so I will make a motion to approve application 212-25 with the following conditions. This applies to building A only, as in the plans, that 6 additional parking spots are created on the private drive to the south of the building, and that for the proposed business, that there be allowable exit and entrance on that south side, I think I'm saying, south side of the building, as well to that parking. So those are the
West side.
west side of it. And that, I missed the original ones, the record a sign notice and decision at the Merrimack County Register of Deeds, and all other original conditions are of approval remain in effect.
Second?
Yes,
All those in
leave
favor?
me hanging there, guys. Aye.
Opposed?
Ayes have it.
There we go.
I would just say, make sure you work with Carrie, it's somewhat complex there, obviously, so just make sure you work with Carrie to make sure it happens correctly.
Yeah, and I guess just, I appreciate that you've stayed in touch with making sure that it all works out. And I just ask that you continue to do that when you get new tenants, we'll make sure it's
Yeah.
gonna continue to work.
Do you have a schedule for the rest of the building?
The rest of the buildings. So we're just waiting for a permit, actually, for the second building, so we're moving on. to
Building
phase-
inspector.
Yeah, where's the building? So we're
interim.
actively
And looking for tenants.
under construction and looking for tenants.
Right, well, good luck.
So when do you
Thank you.
anticipate doing the full loop road? I'm just curious, like around the outside of the building,
I mean, that would be
the final?
exactly, because I don't think can really be done until that, at least at minimum, all the foundations are in. But I think that is in our
Prediction is the dance
next
studio's
year,
gonna be
we would
putting
like to have all 4 of those buildings constructed.
I'm predicting the dance studio's gonna have to put a temp gravel drive
Market,
around.
Yeah, gonna get some income coming.
That's my prediction.
nice to say, hopefully that is the
Even right
case.
now, it's already a mess where they are. Awesome, thanks guys.
Okay, thank you very much.
The findings of facts.
Basically, well,
It's-
what we just talked about, someone has all the parking. The parking is,
I mean, part of it, I mean, we're approving the use, I mean, the use fits the area, I mean, it's.
Right.
with the additional parking spaces, it's,
So I'll make a motion for the finding of facts or that the use fits the area when we've added in the additional parking spaces to allow for the flow of traffic.
and then I guess the other piece is that you've limited it to this one building and not giving a blanket approval for the whole development, not knowing what other uses will be there.
So moved. Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. All right.
All right,
What do you have for us now?
The master plan steering committee has had a couple of meetings. We have several representatives on this board who have participated, which is wonderful. We've actually had really great level of participation. I know at our last meeting, Mike Tardif said that they've had town-wide visioning sessions with fewer people than we have at our steering committee meetings, so I'm proud of that. At your last meeting, you appointed 8 members. There's of 9 that were proposed. We actually have 4 people who are interested in that last seat.
wow,
So we can pick someone, we can add alternates to
Right, that's
give
right, we
everyone
talked
a
about
seat at the table.
I would add alternates. The more people involved, the better.
I would, Levi, your very own planning board alternate is one of those 4, so if you had to choose a person to have the real seat, the regular member seat. I would recommend choosing Levi for that one because he's on the planning board,
that
just
makes
because
sense.
otherwise how do you choose? They're all people volunteering to serve and I think that's great.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't have the other names in front of me right now. We have Jill Hadaway and somebody whose name I can't remember. Okay, well, I'll find them while you guys look at the survey for a second.
Is that the list of people?
No, this is the,
I'm gonna
this
pull
is
it
the
up in a
master,
second.
this is the
But-
question survey.
Does somebody who's on the master plan steering committee wanna talk about the survey and where we're at on it for a second while I find the list of the other people?
Sure.
It's all you.
So we met, what was it, last week, and this is, it was kind of the first official meeting?
Yeah.
We went through a list of questions that they had, and we kind of went through the issues that the planning group felt were most advantageous for us to learn about, the town's perspective on. And I think transportation was a big piece of it, and development were the 2 big things I think that came up, and walkable communities and sidewalks was a big piece of it. So we were trying to come up with questions that we thought people would respond to and give us, that it would provide us the most information for creating our master plan. I don't remember all, I thought there was other questions that aren't on this list though.
Well, there are, I know, since then, I know.
Oh, it's on the back, never mind, it just, this is like a big blank page here,
Oh,
but
yeah,
then it goes on the
it's
back,
printed
okay,
here.
I was like, that was the one I was looking
It's not properly
for.
formatted yet.
Sidewalks.
Sidewalks.
I
The
think-
school.
I'm joking, I agree with you, it's a landmine.
It is.
Yeah.
But everybody I talk to wants them, so I don't know. I
But
don't
we
know.
also had talked about paths, you know, like, don't think we need these big wide concrete things going down the sides of our street.
Like you could formalize the path a little bit more between the high school that connects to the elementary and the middle school and make that a little bit more formalized so people use it more. And kids have more options to walk to school if they want to. And they feel more comfortable walking down that path or even riding a mountain bike or something, depending on the surface, you know, that type of thing. So those are the type of things we had talked about. Other things that would really, I think, struck a chord with everybody was congestion through the town during peak travel times. Obviously, we've all seen it,
Yeah.
especially this weekend, so. I said that we went for a hike in town, we were just counting all the cars going by, and there were some from Pennsylvania, the Georgia was the furthest one I saw though.
So, well, actually, a lot of the time, I know everybody talks about the peak stuff, but, you know, you talk about the traffic around the high school before and after. When I was working, I would go into work by 8:30 instead of 8 to just kind of miss the crazy congestion,
half hour.
mostly at the,
that's good school traffic.
at the, well, the parents dropping kids off, you know, at the, Knox, White Rock Hill Road, you know, Bow Center Road intersection there, because, you know, people will turn and not turning and.
So the
We had
goal is to,
another accident there last week where a car almost ended up in someone's house.
where was this?
Oh, really?
Oh, dear.
In,
Good
at the
community
what I
center.
call
Oh, really?
what I call Bow Center, I know that's not the official word,
Yeah.
everyone knows
It's
what
not
you
the-
mean.
Right.
This is a woman almost literally ended up like on the front step of the house there.
Well,
The word roundabout. How does everybody feel about that word?
Americans don't love roundabouts. But no, I agree with you.
That was something
They
I was
work,
just-
but nobody knows how to use them?
The police chief, that is actually not a town road though, that's a state road.
It's a state road, yes.
And the police chief has asked repeatedly, because there's accidents all the time, could we put a light in or something? And it's gonna have to come from the state, but, yeah.
But I think if you have, the intention is that if you have this master plan that has identified this as an issue and you have the crash data to back it up and you have, you know,
It's a starting point.
it's a starting point to have those
And
conversations.
at one
Community
time,
center there.
I think at one time there was also some concern or some issue with the slope of the road and the
I mean,
and a roundabout, and that was kind of steeper than usual or something like that.
Yeah,
At one point, there was a plan for a roundabout that was some drawings, taking the gray house that was there.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny, because when I seen the plan, I forgot what meeting it was, but the person that lived in the gray house was like, really? They knew nothing about it.
what happened to it?
It's been a rental.
Probably
house.
upstairs.
My
It's probably in the
understanding is that
basement.
the Bow Times came out against it and rallied the troops against the roundabout.
So is Bow Times gonna come out against our survey?
Well, they don't get to say anything about this.
he
doesn't-
marches to his own.
It's your chance to voice your
It's not
opinion in a
fair.
productive manner, so hopefully like, that's the goal. And the other thing that Melanie Klunk had suggested, which we all liked, was the idea of, we now have an under 18 option on here because they're going to send it out to the high school students to get their input, because they might be, in the next 10 years, they might be residents of Bow, and so it would be nice to have their perspective, so.
So we've been doing a bit of a roadshow with the survey questions. Mike and I have visited the Business Development Commission and the Heritage Commission, and I think he went to the Energy Committee last night. So trying to get as much feedback on the questions before they get sent out, and then we're having a meeting next week on Tuesday, the 21st, and then hoping to finalize it and get it out ASAP before the season kind of turns.
The goal is to hand it out at the trunk or treat.
That is the goal, if it's possible, to
If it's
do
possible.
postcards with QR codes.
Here's some candy, here's a survey.
Survey or a QR code,
It's
and the
a good,
kids get the candy,
audience.
right?
Good audience.
Good audience,
so
good
I
opportunity.
Do you have our list of potential alternate steering committee members. So my recommendation is that you
Do we have
appoint,
to make a motion on this?
yeah.
Okay.
My recommendation is you appoint Levi to be the last regular seat on the steering committee. And then Jill Hadaway, Addison Hartman, and he told me to just call him Jay because I wouldn't be able
Oh,
to
that's right,
pronounce
he
it.
said next to me.
He said you can't pronounce it unless you speak Spanish, so he said he goes by Jay.
Okay.
I'll go.
It isn't Jamie Gray Lehman.
It looks okay, but
Yeah.
that's not how he said it.
I'll make a motion to appoint Levi Berry as the final member of the, regular member of the planning, the master plan committee, and appoint Addison Hartman and Jamie Gary Lehman as, and Jill Hadaway as alternates.
Why can't they all be regular members? Is it capped at a certain
Because we
number?
had
You had
said,
said it at
We,
nine.
because we,
I was gonna say,
we
just like bump it up
capped.
to 12 and make nobody an alternate, so they feel
Mike,
special.
Mike probably capped
I
it
mean, you,
himself.
if you want to increase it, I don't see much difference in, I mean, they're not gonna be voting a lot, I think it's just conversations and feedback.
Why don't we just keep it at 9 and alternates?
Mhm.
That's my motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Levi. You're on another
He
committee.
does not know what he's getting into right now.
Alright. Alright, so,
I should say, I have to leave at 8:20 to relieve a babysitter, so not saying that to be
No,
done by
sounds
then, but
sounds good to me. Dawn and I reviewed the RSA changes from last year that may affect our zoning and things we need to update. And I made a little summary for you all of the areas to focus on. We figured this was a good place to start for zoning amendments because they're the things we don't have a lot of choice about. So we can start here and then if anyone else has topics or areas that they think we should work on for zoning amendments, you can propose them.
are these changes, or are they changes that we know conflict with our local rules?
Yeah, I just pulled out the ones that are conflicting.
Okay.
So HB 631 says that we have to allow multifamily residential development on commercially zoned land. But there's, the asterisk is that there's adequate infrastructure, which has not been clearly defined by the legislature, so I'm sure we'll see some court cases and then find out what we're supposed to do about that. I think a lot of these, there'll be court cases.
Well, we do, it's interesting, because we do define, what's, well, I think we still do, I don't know, having the water and sewer for.
I mean, that's what I would take it as, but,
Right, water,
Yes.
sewer, electrical, heat,
Oh, yeah, well, the
yeah, I mean,
electrical,
water,
yes.
sewer is the biggest
utilities,
thing.
right?
And
That's
then the other thing that the municipal association had pointed out, so it means commercially zoned land, which doesn't necessarily mean industrially zoned land. Our commercial, I need to get my maps hung back up, but our commercial district's pretty small. So
Where is it?
like around,
Bull Mills?
No,
Is that commercial?
no, it's mixed use.
Okay.
I think
It's
it's like
more
where
around like
Robinson
Pitco.
goes up, right, doesn't it change?
Let me just put this up in here.
They painted all the walls, took all the maps down.
I know, I need to get them back up. I need to buy the little things to hang them on, but haven't gotten to
Well,
it.
can we, was there gonna be like a strip put up, okay.
Yeah, they're little metal things that you slide them into. I just haven't gotten around to ordering them. So this is
Yeah, you got a little section where Robinson goes up.
commercial, yeah, so it's just this section here, really.
Yeah, well, there's
Oh, so
there's a little
that's-
piece of Robinson too.
Isn't that, is it?
Group phoning and stuff like that.
Oh, down here is what you're saying. Okay, yeah, so there's a chunk here around Group Robinson, and then this section up here.
Well, there's a big residential, the yellow is the R1 district.
Right.
It's kind of
With residential that doesn't allow multifamily.
Yeah.
That's the one of it.
Unlike the other residential areas in town, where we also don't allow multifamily.
Well, that was changed just because when the sewer went in.
Yeah.
Or the water went in, and proposed to the dry sewer.
So I don't think that's gonna have a huge impact on us, at least right now, especially with the lack of water. But I think we need to probably make the update in our zoning. I have to try to figure out how to
So-
work that in, but.
Which some of that, and why, like, we ended up with the R1, because the concern was, you know, that piece of residential that we ran water down and sewer, would have, you know, made it to where you could put a lot of housing in that area that would have got rezoned with something that we didn't want.
And then the other piece of that is that if there's an existing building that's repurposed for adaptive reuse, you have to be flexible basically about the setbacks and frontage and everything. So some of these things are a little tricky to write,
Codify, yeah.
but Don and I will work on it.
Good luck.
SB 284 says that we can't require more than one residential parking space per unit. And this is actually, it's in our site plan, our parking requirements are in the site plan regs, not the zoning ordinance, but I still put it on this list. So we require 2 spaces for a single family home, 2 for a duplex, 1.5 for multifamily. So we'll just change all those to 1.
Okay.
Not much choice there, so SB 281 allows the issuance of building permits on class 6 roads without approval from the Board of Selectmen. And I went to a riveting
Webinar.
this yesterday. Did you go
I
to it?
I sat through that.
I nearly fell asleep. It was at lunchtime too. But there are a few interesting points made there, and one of them is that our ordinance can still require that you have to have frontage on a class 5 or better road. And our ordinance does require that.
And that's how it's worded.
Well, so not exactly like that, but that I guess protects the town a little bit.
Right.
In that we can basically would still require a variance from the zoning board of adjustment. So the select board doesn't get to weigh in, but at least a town body gets to weigh in on whether it is actually appropriate to build on a class 6 road.
And there are other,
Dynamics of that.
there are a whole bunch of other
Why do you
requirements.
need class, like how, in what situation would you have class 5 road frontage and 6?
So
Class
Branch
5 is-
Londonderry Turnpike, where it's a trail,
Yeah.
that's class
That's
6 road.
class 6, right?
No, I own 1,000 feet of road frontage on that.
So
road.
there's like no concern with emergency.
So there's a
Services or
requirement
anything?
for a waiver to be signed and recorded.
And there's a
Yeah,
insurability
proof that it's
requirement. You have to provide proof of insurability. I mean, there are a lot of things that it's
The
like,
concerns are obviously that regardless of the waiver, we all know that our police and fire are going to do whatever it takes to help people because
Yeah.
that's their job. And that's who they are. And so that puts
Then at
people and
risk,
equipment at
yeah.
risk.
So the second point there kind of protects us a bit from the first point.
It does,
Okay.
a little bit. So our definition of the requirement for frontage doesn't say that it has to be on a class 5 or better.
oh,
But our definition of frontage is that it's the length of the lot bordering on a public street or non-interstate highway, categorized as class 1, 2, or 5. So I don't know if we wanna change it so it is more like what was being said at the webinar, but I think it does say the same
is
thing.
better the class 1 or 2? I mean,
But it's a common term, I don't like it either because it's unclear which direction better goes.
Right.
But class 5 or better is a common planning term in New Hampshire.
I'd say put as much as you can in there to protect us.
Mm-hmm.
That's my in this situation.
So, I mean,
Make it
that's, so
very
that's
clear, don't
under,
let anybody
it's just
misinterpret.
under the definition of frontage,
Yeah,
I
we
would,
put it
if
in.
we're trying to make it stronger,
Mhm.
I would
Put it
also
stronger.
include it in the table of dimensional requirements. Because you wouldn't necessarily think to go check the definition for frontage.
No, you wouldn't.
And in fact, I didn't at first, I was like, I thought we had it, it said that, and then I had to.
And
go
who's
look.
gonna look up frontage? I mean, like, the definition of frontage, like, everyone's gonna think they know what frontage is of all things, like.
So we could potentially, I can't even find the page right now, in the dimensional regulations, and there's a paragraph on what minimum lot frontage
We have
means.
some properties that have
Is that
no
listed?
road frontage and, but they have river frontage. Right?
We?
Do we?
Down off, you get to them from the railroad tracks.
Ah.
There's a couple camps down the river that, at least they used to be, I imagine still there.
So we could look at trying to put it, and so 6.02 is the section on minimum lot frontage. So we could kind of duplicate it there just to reinforce. And then House Bill 577 says that we have to allow one accessory dwelling unit attached or detached. We previously required a conditional use permit for a detached, so we'll take off that requirement.
Okay.
Our size requirement is still appropriate. And then the other piece of that is that we have to allow existing structures, like if there's a detached garage that is a non-conforming structure because it's in the setback, it's been there forever, we have to let them convert it to an ADU.
Is there any uptick in ADUs?
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
yes.
well, we had approved several.
We're getting a
I know
bunch.
we approved some, but like
Yeah.
the attached, because we don't see the attached ones.
Right, no, we're getting a bunch, and detached too. Yeah, we're seeing a bunch.
People are talking about it. Oh, I can make.
Yeah, we're seeing a bunch and people call and ask what they have to do.
It's often just the parents.
Or the parents, or just, or the kids,
We're
or,
seeing kids, we're seeing.
it's probably a lot more for the kids.
That's not money.
Both directions for generations.
I'm sure I'll be doing it soon.
So those are the ones we have to do. I was curious if anyone has topics or sections that they would like to try to tackle this year or propose.
Just all those things that we say, we need to work on that.
Yeah, I was going through some things, and there is, this is kind of a question, like, on the prime wetlands table on page 76, it has tax map sheet number.
Is it? What was that, 76? I think it really does mean tax map. That is what it means though. That's what the tax map means. The map.
Oh, the map number?
Yeah,
Maybe-
it is still relevant. We don't really use it, but it's still
Okay.
there.
Okay. Let me just see.
Sandy, you and I had talked about the table of uses for the wetlands.
Right.
Needs to be more explicit that you can't fill them. Cause it doesn't actually say that. More about like dumping yard waste and things like that. It becomes a little gray and it'd be nice to have it very clear.
Right. Yeah. I have also some update regarding just that Natural Heritage Bureau data check, which is
Changed the name again.
changed.
Is
And
that in zoning or is it just in the?
It's in 12.04 H. And I didn't know whether we wanna move it someplace else, because it's a standard of review, I mean, it's just kind of in a weird place, like people don't.
Oh, there.
It's like, sort of like at the end, not,
Yeah, I don't like that.
The other thing I was also looking at is, when we talk about the boundary of the Wetland Conservation District and the, what folks are supposed to use, and we talk about if there's a discrepancy, an applicant may retain such a scientist and, you know, another scientist, and I'm like, well, we should be doing that. I mean,
Do you know where that is?
it's page 75, it's in 10.01B. Because it should be an independent person.
Unless we hear from others, I think we're gonna mostly focus on these ones that we have to do, cause we had some changes of staffing and Don's getting acclimated. Scott, our Tenny, our building inspector, worked close with me on zoning things and he is no longer with us, so I think
Just focus on
we'll
that.
focus on the easy ones, the ones we have to do, and I think Sandy, you and I can probably put together a few things for the wetlands
Okay,
to tidy up.
okay.
Unless anyone has any other burning issues they wanna tackle. Okay,
I wasn't
How about
here-
minutes?
I wasn't here, so I have to abstain from the minutes.
They look fine to me.
I spent so much time with Sandy.
when you said they were fine, was that a motion?
Sure. Just, you know, I was, you know, I don't want anybody to say, oh, I have a question. Yes, I move approval of the September 18, 2025 minutes.
I'll second that.
There you go, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Are you abstaining, Cook?
I'm abstaining. Yeah. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.